Warm greetings to the esteemed fans of Sheikh Hamdan's official channel, your premier source for the latest insights into the life and works of Sheikh Hamdan and the intricacies of the royal family dynamics. In a recent and deeply moving post on his Instagram account, Sheikh Hamdan shared a poignant poem that resonated with many. Today, we're delighted to bring you the English translation of this beautiful piece, allowing you to fully immerse yourself in the depth and emotion of his words. Stay tuned as we explore the richness of his poetry and the sentiments that drive his creative expression. The moment of arrival. The plane's wheels kissed the runway with a soft thud, and the engine's gentle roar began to dissipate. I lingered in my seat, my fingers gripping the armrests as the reality of my journey washed over me. I had traversed oceans and continents, driven by a singular purpose, to be with her. The distance between us had seemed insurmountable, but I had bridged it, crossing into unfamiliar territory, 1,000 miles from the comfort of my own streets. As I sat there, the air inside the plane felt thick and heavy, filled with the anticipation of disembarking passengers. The sounds around me were a cacophony of rustling bags, murmured conversations, and the occasional burst of laughter. People began to find out their faces a blur as they chatted excitedly or yawned, weary from the long journey. But I remained seated, lost in my thoughts, my heart beating with a mix of excitement and trepidation. I was here, in her country, and nothing would ever be the same again. The moment of truth. As I gazed out the small window, the dimly lit runway stretched out before me like a canvas of possibility. The distant airport lights twinkled like stars, a reminder that I was a world away from what I knew. But the view was irrelevant. What mattered was the destination, the person who awaited me. With a sense of determination, I gathered my carry-on bag and fell into step with the other passengers, my heart pounding in my chest. The anticipation was palpable, mixed with a healthy dose of fear. What if reality didn't live up to the fantasy? What if the connection we shared online didn't translate to real life? We had shared our deepest secrets, laughed together, and cried together, but words on a screen were one thing, tangible, human connection was another. As I made my way down the aisle, my mind was a jumble of emotions. I was about to take a leap of faith, to bridge the gap between the digital world and the real one. Seeing her, touching her hand, hearing her voice in person, it was a moment I had both longed for and feared. The uncertainty was exhilarating, and I couldn't help but wonder what the next few moments would bring. Would our connection be stronger than I imagined, or would it falter in the face of reality? Only time would tell. The vibrant hum of the airport. As I entered the terminal, a symphony of sounds enveloped me. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee wafted through the air, mingling with the hum of machinery and the gentle chatter of passengers. The atmosphere pulsed with energy, a kaleidoscope of faces and stories unfolding before me. Yet, amidst the chaos, my focus narrowed to a single thread, finding her. My heart thrummed with anticipation, a gentle reminder of the moment I had been waiting for. I navigated through the crowd, my eyes scanning the sea of faces, searching for the one that would change everything. And then, I saw her. She sat poised on the edge of a chair, her fingers deftly working on something on her phone. Her personality was a gentle curve, a soft smile playing on her lips. My breath caught in my throat as our gazes aligned, and for an instant, the world around us melted away. In that moment, time stood still. The cacophony of the airport receded, leaving only the gentle thrum of my heart. I felt the weight of expectation lift, replaced by a sense of wonder. This was the moment I had been waiting for, the moment when reality would meet expectation, and our connection would transcend the digital realm. With a sense of trepidation and excitement, I took a step forward, my eyes locked on hers. The world around us sprang back to life, but I knew that nothing else mattered, only the two of us, suspended in this moment of connection. The thrill of connection. As I stood there, frozen in anticipation, my confidence began to wane with each passing second. But then, as if sensing my gaze, she looked up, and our eyes met in a moment of pure electricity. Time seemed to stand still, the world around us dissolving into nothingness. Her expression transformed from puzzlement to recognition, and then to a warm, radiant smile that nearly melted away my nervousness. She rose to her feet, her phone slipping into her pocket, and her smile grew wider, illuminating her entire face. I couldn't help but smile back, feeling a sense of joy and relief wash over me. The weight of the journey, the countless hours of travel, The sleepless nights spent thinking about this moment, it all faded into insignificance in that instant. The doubts and fears that had plagued me seemed to vanish, replaced by a sense of certainty and belonging. I was here, she was here, and nothing else mattered. The connection between us was palpable, a spark of electricity that seemed to arc through the air, drawing us closer together. As I gazed into her eyes, I felt a sense of homecoming, as if I had finally found a place where I belonged. The world around us came alive again, but it was no longer a distraction. It was a backdrop for our reunion, a celebration of the connection that had brought us together. The serenity of being together. As we stood face to face, the world around us dissolved into the background. The silence between us was a gentle whisper, a soft breeze that carried the promise of new beginnings. Her laughter was the first to break the silence, a melodic sound that filled the air with warmth and joy. "You made it," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, yet it resonated deep within me. I smiled, feeling a sense of relief and happiness wash over me. "I'm here for you," I replied, my voice filled with emotion. She took my hand, and I felt a surge of comfort and peace. As we walked through the terminal, the world outside receded, and all that mattered was the two of us, together. The car ride was a blur of colors and sounds, the city lights twinkling like stars in the night sky. The honking horns and laughter from the streets created a lively melody, but my focus was on the gentle pressure of her hand in mine. It was a reminder that I was not alone, that I had found a sense of belonging. As we drove through the city, the unfamiliar sights and sounds became a backdrop for our reunion. The world outside was vibrant and alive, but my heart was centered on the quiet intimacy of our connection. In that moment, nothing else mattered but the two of us, together, in this new chapter, the soft glow of connection. She sat beside me, her hands clasped together in her lap, the occasional brush of her hair a subtle reminder of her presence. The air was alive with unspoken questions, the weight of expectation hanging delicately between us. This moment was the culmination of countless conversations, shared dreams, and whispered promises. The silence that filled the space between us was a testament to the significance of this encounter. The weight of reality. As I gazed out at the city lights, I couldn't shake the feeling that this moment was more monumental than I'd anticipated. The driver, a silent observer, cast an occasional glance our way, but his expression remained neutral. I didn't care about the outside world. All that mattered was the space between us, the electricity that crackled with every glance. Her eyes met mine, and I felt a jolt of connection. In the dim light, her gaze was like a gentle touch, soft and reassuring. I shrugged, the weariness of the flight momentarily forgotten in the face of her presence. In that moment, the world narrowed to the two of us, the hum of the engine and the soft glow of the city lights fading into the background. All that remained was the thrum of connection, the sense of belonging that came with being exactly where I was meant to be. Her eyes held mine, and I felt a sense of peace settle over me, as if the journey had been worth it for this single moment. I've come to understand that love is a journey, not a destination. It's a path that winds through darkness and light, but ultimately leads to growth, wisdom, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. And I know that no matter what the future holds, I'll always be guided by the lessons I've learned and the love that I've discovered within myself. A hint of uncertainty. Her lips curled into a subtle smile, but I detected a fleeting glimmer of doubt in her eyes. I longed to probe her thoughts, to understand the nuances of her expression, but the moment seemed fragile, and I hesitated to disrupt the delicate balance. As the cab slowed to a stop in front of a charming apartment building, the driver's voice was a gentle murmur in the background. I followed her out into the crisp night air, the scent of blooming flowers and fresh-cut grass wafting through the evening breeze. She led me up a short flight of steps, the sound of our footsteps echoing off the walls. As she unlocked the front door, a warm glow spilled out, inviting me into her world. The interior of the building was infused with the scent of polished wood and the sweet fragrance of jasmine, a subtle yet alluring aroma that wrapped itself around me. The elevator creaked upward, its ancient mechanism groaning in protest, and we stood in silence, the tension between us palpable. When the doors finally slid open, she guided me into her apartment, a cozy sanctuary filled with warm lighting and simple, yet inviting furniture. The space was a reflection of her personality, understated, yet elegant, with a quiet beauty that drew me in. As I stepped inside, I felt a sense of belonging, as if I had finally found a place where I could be myself. Her voice barely above a whisper, she confessed that she feared I might see her differently in person, that my perception might shift. My heart skipped a beat as I wrapped my fingers around hers, holding her hand gently. As I spoke, the tension in her body began to dissipate, her shoulders relaxing as she leaned into me. Her head rested lightly against my shoulder, and a sense of calm washed over us. We sat in comfortable silence, the city's gentle hum soothing background noise. Time lost all meaning as we sat there, our hands entwined, our hearts beating in tandem. We didn't need words, we had the luxury of time, and for the first time, we were in the same place, together. The world outside receded, leaving only the gentle rhythm of our connection.